Hey guys, welcome back on the channel. So PancakeSwap did a few changes when it comes to cake staking, even their liquidity pools and cake farming. And in this video, I'm gonna give you an introduction to what happened. Now, if you come here on Earn, Farm Liquidity, you'll see there's all of the liquidity pools available. Now there's new features. There's going to be pools that have this infinity tag, you see, and then there will be CLAMM, LBAMM. These are the new type of pools because they all have the infinity tag, as you can see. In between them, the difference is that this one will have dynamic fees. I believe that's why they have this double arrow symbol here. And there's going to be others which are locked in the fee tier. So whatever it's happening in the market, people using the pool will pay this fee tier regardless. These dynamic ones are a new model. It became popularized with some other exchanges in other blockchains. For example, on Meteora, I saw this happening. They have dynamic fees. I think they were one of the first DEXs introducing this concept. So when there's high demand in the market, when there's a lot of volume trading, the fees go up. And that's also something that you will see on Sonic blockchain. Many of their DEXs have all these new dynamic fee type of aspect to it. So the pool fee tier will pretty much depend on market. Higher volume demanded from the market will determine a higher fee tier. In lower volume days, a lower fee tier. So it's going to be, like the name implies, dynamic, right? Now, the most popular pools will have all of this dynamic aspect to it, and the changes or the novelty doesn't stick with that. So for example, let's go here with BNB BTC pair. This is a pair that, if you follow my channel, you know this is one of the best ones. You should be providing liquidity on highly correlated assets, both blue chips. Great stuff here for earning passive income in crypto. Now you see that this pair has a cake farm already. So before, in the previous pools, and I'll show you those in a second, in those previous pools, you would stake your liquidity in a pool, and then you would have to stake your LP tokens in a cake farm to earn cake. So on those pools, you would first need to deploy your liquidity, then you would take your LP tokens, which represented the share of the pool of which you owned, and then you would have to stake those into a cake farm to earn cake passively. In these new infinity pools, you start earning cake right away. You just need to deposit liquidity. This is part of their new model using cake. They are trying to make it much more accessible for new users, and they took away many of the other stuff like locking cake and having vcake. Much of that was taken away from the protocol. It is no longer accessible. Although if you have your cake locked in and you're just watching this, you can still go there and claim your cake right away, even if you had a longer time lock for cake. These changes made that to be possible, okay? So all of these infinity pools, they will have this option to earn cake. They will have a specific number of cake, I believe it's 1,440 number of cake tokens to be issued every single day, and those will be distributed to the most volume heavy pools. This is one of such pools. Essentially the pools that are more traded, the blue chip stuff which has BNB, cake, stable coins, Ethereum, BTCB, stuff like that. You see, there's plenty of these new infinity pools showcasing right now. Now there's still V3 pools, concentrated liquidity pools. They are still active. You can still provide liquidity on those, but if you go that route, you still need to deploy liquidity and then go to the cake farms to just lock your LP tokens and earn cake. Of course, that is something which is optional. You can definitely not stake your LP tokens in the farm, but if you do that, you're leaving money on the table because you're entitled to those tokens. And by the way, one of the things that I didn't mention, but one of the things that these new liquidity pools, infinity pools, they apply is lower fees when providing liquidity. So the fees when providing liquidity here, they would be something like 20 cents, 60 cents of a dollar. I experienced those types of prices just for deploying liquidity. It's not all that much, especially if you compare it to Ethereum when it goes easily in the order of $20, $30, if not higher. But here on the BNB chain, now they adjust that, and you will likely have lower gas fees when trading or when providing liquidity on these infinity pools, okay? Also note that there's no longer wrapped BNB paired with some other token. That's also one of the novelties added with this type of pools. And if you're wondering about the older farms that I just mentioned for the V3 type of pools, the concentrated liquidity pools, not that these are no longer concentrated, they still are concentrated. Let me show you. So we go into one, we click add liquidity. You still need to define ranges and apply ranges to your position, okay? It's just a different thing, it's the evolution. Probably you're watching just wondering what are the new stuff, what new stuff is there right now on PancakeSwap, and this is essentially it. New type of pool, lower gas fees, integrated cake rewards right away. It's much more convenient in my opinion. But you can also have here, you see legacy farm page. If you click it, this is the older aspect. If you watch some of my older videos, they explain how all of this stuff works. So this is the older dashboard, right? If we would come here to provide liquidity to any of these pairs, so let me choose, for example, this one here, BTCB paired with Ethereum, we would add liquidity, but there's no cake rewards right away. I would have to deploy liquidity and then go to the farms and deposit on those farms. So for example, here on the farm types, I could toggle on the V3 farms, and now it would just filter out all of the pools that have a cake farm applied to it, because not all pools allow you to then lock your LP tokens and earn cake rewards. At the end of the video, I'll link up on screen for my other older videos where I showed you how these farms or this older way of farming cake on PancakeSwap works. But let's go back here. So essentially that's that. I'm not gonna go get too much technical on it. I believe what I shared so far, it's enough for you to understand. If not, let me know in the comments. Your comments help me out to come up with video ideas and also know what I should focus on, because likely if you have a question, there's other people watching that have the same question. So if you take your time to ask me something, it really helps me to know what things I should share with you. Now, when it comes to earning with cake, you still have some syrup pools in which you can hold cake or lock your cake tokens here. For example, Pepe has been having this partnership for a long time. You stake cake, you earn Pepe, 1% APR, simple as that. There's other tokens where you can stake cake or earn the token, or there's even some other where you can earn cake. You can stake AI tech, for example, and you will earn cake. So no longer you will have like those farm boosts from locking cake. They updated from that model. Right now, what they're focusing on with their new model is making cake deflationary. And this is the new updated cake tokenomics. As you can see, there's more burn. If you look at the burn before, it was 23%, like this remains the same, but on the AMM V3, now there's going to be, instead of 10% of LP fees to be burned, now it's 15%. So more burning is gonna happen. At the same time, the cake emissions have been significantly reduced. So you see, we went from 33,500 cake per day down to around 19,000. And the same for ecosystem growth. We went from 6,500 cake per day up to 3,250. Very high percentage of reductions happening here. This is mainly to make cake more deflationary, which potentially grow the token's price. And I believe that's what they're trying to do, make things more simple for new users, while at the same time increasing the burn, lowering emissions, all stuff that potentially can make cake go up in price. I don't think we are going to see cake going back to $20 like we saw before. Back in, let's see here on CoinGecko, back in 2021, cake was over $40. And from here on, we saw cake having a huge dip. The last time it was at around $10 was back also in 2022. So 3 years gone by and cake has been under the $10 mark. I think cake is easily a $5 token at least. Maybe these changes will influence it to reach that point. But right now it has been trading around $2, $3, at sometimes $4 for the past few years, but mostly it has been trading at a very, very low price. Of course, we've been in the bear market for much of this time, but PancakeSwap is one of the biggest DEXs. Maybe with this push, we will see some significant price appreciation. It would be nice to see it go up to $5, gotta say. And one other thing I didn't mention so far, but it's also gonna happen, is that when you use these pools and trade these pairs, you see fee discount. So now there's going to be, for cake holders, a discount in fees when using these pools. And basically that's it about the novelties, guys. Anything else, for example, in my past videos, I show you how to gather information here on PancakeSwap using their metrics, using their analytics to get an understanding of the most profitable pools. But you can watch that in other of my videos. For example, now we have a new tab here, which gets information for all of the infinity pools. So we can come back down here and let's go here to see which one has been having the most volume for the past week. ETH, actually it's not BNB, I would think it would be BNB paired with USDT, something like that. But yeah, if you want to test out these new pools, I think it's a great idea. I'm myself trying those out right away, providing liquidity to some of those. And PancakeSwap is easily the place to go to provide liquidity on the BNB chain. A ton, I believe around 60% of the volume on chain, on the BNB chain, goes through PancakeSwap. That makes it a huge opportunity for liquidity providers to earn passive income. So guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. You know the drill, like and subscribe for more of this type of content. I'll have links for the Underdog investor group if you want to join a paid yield farming dedicated community. It will get you 20% off on your first month, but it will get you in touch with a bunch of people that have been in this type of game for a long time. It will speed up your learning curve for sure. That being said, thank you for watching. Keep exploring crypto. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.